Has everyone had a chance to go to the board?
Yeah.
Right, thumbs up, you got your name on the board? Alright, good. So it looks like we're pretty split, 50-50 on if we go or not. So, let's see. Denasia, why would you not go fight? What? You don't want to? Alright. Dexter, why would you go? What was
He
that?
said he wanted to go because he wanted to fight for his country.
You want to fight for your country? Hey, Kim. Are you raising your hand to answer? Yeah, why would you not want to go? Mantra? That's not true. Okay. Guys, the idea behind this was like if you've already fought battles up to this point, you're still gonna die. You don't think it's worth the risk, is what I'm saying. Raise your hand. Time. You think it'd be easy to win? Alright. Well, it's some good discussion. Anyone else want to raise their hand and try to answer this? Whether you want to go or not go? Emma? Fight for what's right. You're in the cell. I suppose you probably believe that you're fighting for the right cause. So, it's not a bad answer. I'm sure that's what a lot of people thought. Alright. So now we're going to shift into some battle facts. The Battle of Gettysburg was the deadliest battle in the whole Civil War. 51,000 total casualties. You guys, so for reference, Spring Lake Park, I looked at the census this morning, has 7,000 people in its city. The city I grew up in, Andover, has 33,000. So those two cities combined is still less than the amount of people that, the amount of casualties in Gettysburg. Casualties means like deaths, I think also mean like severely wounded people as well. That's a lot of people, 51,000. It was also the longest battle of the Civil War, lasting 3 whole days. So raise your hand if you're tired this morning. Yeah, be honest, raise your hand if you're tired. Okay, so you're tired after just what, the weekend, right? These people fought for an entire weekend of battle. Imagine how tired they are by the end of that. Cannons firing, guns firing, all this stuff going on. It's insane. And like mentioned before, this was the last battle to take place in the North. One thing to note too, in a couple of days, you're going to be learning about the Gettysburg Address, which was spoken by Abraham Lincoln. And after this battle, it made Lincoln kind of realize like how bad things have gotten. Like this was a huge loss for people. And so he spoke to try to bring the nations together. Does anyone have any questions on this stuff? Raise your hand if you do. Thumbs up if you guys understand this. Alright. We're doing alright. Alright, outcomes. So why this is important. The Union won this battle. And that is a big deal for this. It was a huge turning point in the war. The South was forced to retreat. So if you go back, when you looked at that video, at the end there, they showed the Southern just like running away because they lost. They needed to retreat because they lost way too many people. And now the Union went off then. So the South was pushing for a long time, right? They made their way all the way up to Gettysburg, all the way up to the north. They lost that battle, now they were forced to retreat back to the south. And now the Union can jump on them. Anyone have any questions on that? Raise your hand if you do. All right. So this is where your packet comes in now, and we're going to check. What? That's a lot of casualties, right? So one thing that happened was there's the deadliest battle of the Civil War. spell it right.
Sure. Can't see it from here.
Can anyone share another interesting fact?
Definitely spell it. It's hard to see over here.
Ty? What? The cells retreated? Good. Now shift our focus to why it was important. Can anyone tell me a very recent hand why it was important? Anyone got anything? You go back to that slide and review why it was important. Or Alondra, you got something? Yeah, it's good. But let's go back to that slide quick with the outcome. So why it was important. We already answered this question, Union won. But something why it was important because it was that huge turning point in the war. So that's one thing I write down. And you could, one thing I might add.
Is that an argument too?
Where?
Recording.
So turning point. So you guys ever watch sports? Raise your hand if you guys watch sports. Like the Lions beating the Vikings yesterday, where it's gonna kind of get those.
How is that even possible?
Because our defense is pretty good. It's like the Lions beating the Vikings yesterday, where now that the Lions have won 4 in a row, they may be able to go on a run here and make the playoffs. It's a big turning point in their season. It's kind of like a key event that happens in a war, in a story, in a game that changes the outcome. Does that make sense? Do you understand what turning point means? Thumbs up if you do. JJ, do you know what turning point means? Alright, so why was important? Only battle in the north. That means that the South tried to attack the north. They failed and they never got back there. So it's kind of clear now who's going to win this war. And one other thing. One more thing for the description. What's one thing on here? I'll just tell you. So one other thing for the description I write down, because that was the longest battle of the Civil War.
That's just gonna add it longest. To the spots. Yep. Good job. Last pages.
Alright, so one final question for you guys. You guys finished writing? Knowing the information you know now, knowing how many deaths that this battle caused, and how long it lasted, would you still go fight this battle if you were General Lee of the South?
No, wait,
No.
what? Cows in the south?
Sure?
Cows in the south?
Yes.
No.
Raise your hand if you would still fight this battle if you were General Lee.
Fight cows in the south.
Raise your hand if you would not fight this battle now.
I'll fight you.
Good. Estimate what changed your mind? What changed your view? Okay. Kevin, what changed your mind?
Because, like, if I go again, I'll